Well, I had some neighbours private message me through Facebook going, what's happening to that house? And when I said, well, it's going to get demoed and you just have to wait and see. And then they go, oh my God, that's the best news we've ever heard. It's quite funny actually, wasn't it? Yeah.
So the original section was an old shop, so it was the old McFadden's Road shop, had been there for 100 years, 120 years, and it was right on the corner. It had been turned into 2 flats, so there was 2 flats there, it was just dilapidated and ready to go, and it was like, what do we put there? And the site warranted something, nice on it really. Yeah, so the initial vision, so it was making 2 townhouses look like 1 large house. The main challenges, I suppose, at the start were the existing shop was right on the corner of the section, so it was right on the footpath. So we had to make sure that we blocked it off well from the street. It was a high traffic street zone for the school kids going around. So we had to fence it off well and then pick the right time to demolish it. And we did a Saturday morning and we did it nice and early. No one was sort of up and around. Told all the neighbours. They all came out for coffee and
dressing gowns and
cheered and shouted and happy as that this old house was going.
Yeah.
Well, the design was quite tricky really because we're used to building large houses or larger projects, and then the 2 townhouses together was large, but when you break it down into 2 smaller projects, it's like, is the lounge going to be big enough to fit the right size couch, and is it big enough for a family to live in? Are the bedrooms far enough away from the parents' bedrooms and things like that? So it was just kind of bringing everything into a smaller area and making sure it all worked. So that was the trickiest part really.
Actually had some cool little aspects that the other didn't have either.
Yeah.
So like, in the McFadden's roadside townhouse, it had a bookshelf incorporated under the stairs that you could open up, and then there was all this space that you could use for storage, which I wanted to create. And because it was a townhouse and they are smaller than a big house, we wanted to create as much space as possible and make it feel like they could fit so much in. We had massive storage even above the garage as well. So creating those extra little wee niches that created something a bit different and a bit more for a townhouse. And then there was the entrance coming into Rutland Street too. Like originally there was meant to be another little room, and we changed that and put our laundry in the garage instead to create more space in that living area where a lot of people spend most of their time. And we ended up putting these really cool timber slats in just to sort of make it sort of break off from the entrance out into the lounge.
Yeah, we didn't put walls there to close it in, make it feel smaller, so the little slats still made it feel like an entranceway, didn't it? But you could see through it and it sort of still had the light come through and it still made it feel like an entranceway but not closed in, so that was a cool feature. Yeah, bathrooms were cool. We put skylight over the bath, over both baths in each one.
And one also above the shower.
Yeah, and I sort of started playing around with some stuff that I'd been looking at online and that, and we put a skylight over the shower and then had a dumper that came through the skylight, so that when you're looking at it, you couldn't actually see the dumper, but you could see the water falling out from sort of the skylight, which was quite cool. Just something different and a bit of lighting behind there, it looked quite different. So yeah, and I think that's the biggest bit of advice we could say is just really plan it out first and stick to the budget. As much as you want to go, you see something shiny, you want to go and buy it, stick to the budget as much as you can, and then it will be successful really. Yeah, one of the new owners is a builder from Queenstown, and he actually rang me up and said, "You've done an amazing job on this. You've done a really good job. The finishes are, outstanding." And builders typically don't do that to each other. So that was really good to hear. So, I said to him, well, thanks for that. So the other partner's wife was an interior designer, so she looked and she just said she liked the palette as well. So it was nice to work with. So, when those sort of people are buying your property, you've done something right.